Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 90-day commitment. I'm so excited that you guys have been following your journey and following our videos to just get yourself back on track and switch to thriving, to surviving. So I want to applaud you guys if you've been following us this whole time. If you haven't and you're just joining now, this is still a great time to join because we will be reviewing everything that we've come through so far. So today we're going to talk about creating your life plan. So picking a date for your dream, and just like you save a date for a wedding or save a date for a special event, I want you guys to set a date just as relevant and just as important and just as solid as you would for setting a date for that. I want it to be a date that is certain and that we're going to strive for. So just a little refresher as to what we covered so far, and those videos will be up on YouTube, so you can always go back and revisit them. But we started off with our mindset and how everything starts with correlating our mindset and making it positive and switching from that negativity. We realized that sometimes to change the future, we actually have to go back to the past and see what's been holding us back, what's been our triggers, right? What has been maybe some things that have been instilled from childhood that we maybe didn't actually realize is actually plaguing us now. We figured out what our starting point is. So we kind of collected maybe some of those bills that we've been hiding under the rug. And we collected some of those things that maybe we just kind of put on the back burner or forgot about. So we just collected all that information. We told you not to look at it just yet, but we have it all gathered. We figured out our vision board. So that's our destination. This is where we're heading. This is our hopes and dreams, our goals. And then we put a price tag on some of those. So maybe it was a trip. How much would that trip to the Caribbean or a cruise cost you? How much would that gym membership cost you? Maybe you have fitness as one of your goals. So we just kind of calculated exactly how much that would be. So then we can actually start taking action steps towards those. And then we made sure that we had money mindsets, right? We figured out, are we a fixed or are we a growth mindset? We aligned our thoughts with our actions with our life plan, and our life with our vision board, which was our destination. So today's topic is taking all of that information that we've just gathered and creating a life plan. So we're going to develop an attainable strategy to get that vision board to be our life, not just a board. So we're going to reverse engineer our vision board down to what we can do every single day to get us just that one step closer to getting our vision board. So I know you've heard me say this so many times. I know you heard it from Angie, but most people don't plan to fail. We never plan to not have what we want, but a lot of the times we just fail to plan to have what we want. So this is what today's video is all about, is making that plan not to fail and making that plan to achieve everything that we want in life, and to make you realize that it's maybe not as difficult as you might have thought. Maybe it just looked a little overwhelming. So creating our life plan, without further ado, right? So I'm just going to shift my video over here so I can see. So we all have hopes, dreams, aspirations, but how many of us actually achieve those aspirations and those goals? So often we think and we talk about what we want, but we don't take those action steps required to have it. And you might think, oh, I'm lazy, or people might call you lazy, but it's not because you're lazy. It's because we don't know where to start. So we get overwhelmed and then we just give up or say, I can't do it. Or we give ourselves an out, give ourselves excuses instead of executing our dreams. So we maybe look at our dreams and think, oh, it's unrealistic. It's unobtainable. Why would I even try? But guess what? It maybe was unattainable to go to the moon a couple of centuries ago or a couple of decades ago. But guess what? We got there. It may have been unobtainable. You may have told someone they're completely silly if they said, I'm going to fly. But guess what? Where there's a will, there's a way. They created planes and now humans are flying. right? So anything is possible if you just find loopholes and you find ways to implement your plan, and you say that there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to have everything you want in life because you deserve it. So you may wonder how you can bring these ideas and wishes and dreams to life. And that simple answer is creating a life plan and just figuring out the daily steps that you can take and making them achievable and obtainable, and just getting yourself step by step a little closer to those goals. Another quote I love is, "You're never going to be upset if you fall on the stars if you shoot it for the moon," right? So shoot for all those goals and dreams. The worst thing that can happen is you're 100% closer and you achieve 90% of them or 80% of them. That's still going to be so much further ahead than achieving none of them because you told yourself it was not obtainable. So what exactly is a life plan? So a life plan is a guide and a reminder of what you want to achieve. So that's kind of like that vision board. You look at it and it reminds you of your goals and dreams, because so often we just get caught up in the day-to-day and the stresses of daily life, and we forget that there's certain aspirations that we want to achieve. So this helps you realize your dreams and your personal goals and professional goals. In a sense, it's writing down a promise to yourself to try and tick off those goals that you want to accomplish in life. It's putting your mind on paper, because so often we have so many things going on through our head. We have hundreds of thoughts a day, but sometimes we just need to put them on paper so that actually we remember them. So maybe you're in your 30s and you're unsure of what you want in your 50s. Or maybe you're in your 50s and you're unsure of what you want in your 70s. And that's okay. That's really what a life plan is going to help you do. It's going to help you realize that everything's under your control. And it's going to help you just put some ideas of what you want on paper so that you can kind of place them and figure out what you want to achieve this year, next year, and the year after. A life plan will serve as a roadmap. It's a guide to make your dreams a little bit more realistic and more real. It doesn't have to be incredibly detailed. It doesn't have to be a booklet this big. Just a good life plan should be flexible, and it needs to be enough that to make you change and grow, but not too detailed to the point where you feel stressed or you feel depressed that little tiny things aren't getting done. Why is a life plan important? So a life plan is important because when you write down what's on your mind, um, it makes it feel real, but it also makes you understand what you really want. And if you put it on paper and you don't want it, you're gonna feel that, whereas you might not feel it in your mind. It is going to put your thoughts in reality, and it's going to help you transform your mind into reality and help these ideas actually come to life. It gives birth to these ideas. Similarly, your goals, even if they're long term, they need to be brought into life so that you can break down what needs to be done in the short term to achieve those long term goals. Aside from a life plan, it's kind of like a commitment to yourself. It's a legal document, except you're the legal authority on that document. It's your commitment to your life plan. So you are in power. You have full control. It's the one thing that you really have full control of. So if your goals or priorities change along the way, that's okay. Just make sure that there's a valid reason that you're changing them. A life plan is going to keep you on track. It's going to give you direction. And sometimes that's what we need to go through life, is just a little bit of direction so we can put one foot in front of the other, even if we don't see that full path ahead. How will creating a life plan help me? Maybe you're like, this looks super complicated. I want to know exactly why I would do this for myself. If it's all going to be changed anyways, and it's all loose and loosey-goosey, why would I want to do this? So a case study at UCLA by a psychologist found out that if you wrote down your intentions for the day, he found that 92% you were 92% more often to complete those goals if you wrote them down. Because things slide past, life comes up, and then you get scrambled and you forget. How many times have you walked up the stairs and you're like, what was I going up there for? And that's just going up the steps, right? But if you wrote it down before you went up the steps, would you remember? You would look down at your paper and be like, right, that's what I came up here for. So life happens too. You go through life and you forget what you wanted to do on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday or Friday. So write it down. There's no defined strategy or hard rules on how you do this life plan. Just make it make sense for you. Do what you need to feel accomplished. Do what you need to feel like you've lived a full, happy life. What this life plan will help you do specifically, it's going to help you feel in control. I know a lot of the times we give up control to banks, to maybe husbands or ex-husbands. Maybe we gave up control to just the world, and we just said the world's too chaotic. I don't want to control life. I'm just going to go by the seat of my pants, right? Take back that control. Maybe you haven't made a big decision in a long time. Make little decisions, and those little decisions will add up to big change, and that will empower you to make bigger decisions in the future. Maybe you feel lost or have a lack of direction. This whole process has been helping you regain that sense of direction, because sometimes we've got spun around by chaos or by series of unfortunate events, but this will help you regain that direction so you can put one foot in front of the other. A life plan will provide clarity. It will also save time because you know exactly what you need to do each day. You don't need to panic. It will boost creativity because as you get things accomplished, you're going to have ideas of what else you want to add, because you're actually getting things done, and now you have time to add some fun back in your life. It's going to create momentum, and it's going to boost your self-esteem because you're going to see these little tiny checks that you're getting, that you're going to be able to mark off on your agenda or on your sheet. And it's going to create just better thinking. The process of planning forces you to think hard about what you want and how you're going to get it. And this provides and improves your thinking skills. So 5 areas, and these might sound a little familiar on your life plan, is health and well-being, which health is wealth. I know you've heard me say that before, but now when we're creating our life plan, we're taking that. Maybe you had health on your vision board, and now instead of just having a picture of a healthy person, or maybe you a couple pounds lighter, we're actually going to create that into a step or a goal. So maybe it's, okay, I'm going to take 10,000 steps per day, which will get me to looking like how I was 10 years ago, or looking like this image I took off of the internet. Maybe it's relationships. Maybe you said, you know what, I want to get out into the dating scene again. Or maybe it's, I want to get married. Or maybe it's, I just want to love myself. Or maybe it's, I want to make more friends. All of those are great. Now, how are we going to do that? Maybe I'm going to sign up for online dating. Maybe I'm going to just create better intimacy with the loved ones I have. Maybe it's, I'm going to take myself on a date to a movie or to a restaurant. I'm going to be more comfortable being with myself. But what are you going to do to obtain that? The next 3 are career. So if you're unhappy with your current job, you need to change it. You need to make a plan to change that so you're happy, because we're at our job so much of our lives, 40 hours a week, right? You want to be happy those 40 hours. But if you are happy at your job, then you have to plan for growth and development. Don't get stuck at where you are. Keep growing. Maybe you're going to shoot for a promotion or shoot for a raise. Just add those little things in. If you're an entrepreneur, maybe you need to plan some prerequisites as far as what you want to achieve in the next year. So just to give you an example, if you want to change your current job, set goals to apply for job applications per week. So a certain number of job applications you're going to send out. If you're happy with your job, then maybe you want to imagine where you'd like to be at your job in the next 5, 10 years from now. And then define what you need to do on daily actions as far as how you can achieve that 5 or 10-year goal that you set for yourself. With finance, maybe you don't have, maybe you're looking at your vision board and you're like, I don't have enough finances to make this vision board a reality. So this life plan is going to help you structure how you're going to fix that financial deficit. So maybe that's setting a budget for yourself, which is what we're going into next week. Maybe it's just becoming a little bit more familiar with what your earning potential is in your industry. Maybe you can stay in the same career path, but just shift to a different company that pays more for what you do. Or maybe it's asking your boss for that raise so that you have a little bit more income coming in. Set those short and long-term goals and consider maybe finding a financial coach like Angie and I who can help you set aside finances so that that is your money pool for your goals and dreams, and you can just take out of there as you go and kind of check off those financial boxes that you want. Maybe it's changing your community. I know we talked a couple weeks ago about how our network or our network is our net worth. So whoever you hang out with, they're kind of going to affect how much you earn, because maybe they're always going out drinking and partying and you're going out drinking and partying. Maybe they have more income than you, or maybe they're spending all of their money on drinks. And if you catch up with them, you're going to be doing the same, right? So maybe adjusting your community will help empower you, or talking to your friends and getting them to do this with you will help empower you to stick to your life plan. So let's start creating this life plan. And believe it or not, if you've been following us this whole time, you've already started. So week 2, pardon me, week 1 was us. Week 2 was step 1, where we started to figure out where our starting point was. Step 2 was week 3, where we walked through creating our vision board, which helped us determine our destination. Step 3 was done in week 4, when we started working on correcting our mindsets and performing that self-assessment and just realizing what's holding us back and what's been keeping us at this starting point and stopping us from getting to our final destination. And then step 4 was done, is going to be done this week, where we're going to take all of that information and just piece it together and organize it so that we can create our life plan, turning that vision board into daily action steps. So let me give you a little refresher. Maybe you missed a couple weeks, maybe you got a little busy, or maybe you're joining us just now. So a couple questions you want to ask yourself is, what results do you or did you want to achieve? As you create your vision board and your dream, try to be specific as possible. Think of the results that are accompanied by your desired outcome. Maybe it's financial stability. Maybe it's fulfilling a lifelong dream. Maybe it's overcoming a fear. Maybe it's feeling more confident. Maybe it's being able to pay for things or experiences that you otherwise thought you couldn't. What is the purpose and vision and mission for my life? Why are those above things important? How do I want to focus my time and energy to achieving those goals? What are my development needs at this point in my life? So what things do I need to change so that those goals become obtainable? What's my ideal lifestyle look like? What's my day-to-day? What about those goals inspire you? So with every goal, you want to have an emotion attached to it, because that emotion is what's going to make that goal actually happen. If you don't have any emotion behind that goal, there's no reason why you're going to want to get it done. So find a reason. What will that financial stability make you feel, right? It will make me feel peace. It will make me feel happiness. It will make me feel stress-free. Those are things that you want to piece to your goals as well. So now that we have all of that, now we want to ask, what are actions I can take so that those goals get done, so that those results get achieved? So let's get organized. So some of those goals in your vision board are going to be long-term. Some of them are going to be short-term. So we need to figure out what ones are long-term and what ones are short term. So we're going to take our vision board, put it in front of us, and we're going to create a lifetime column, pardon me, a 5-year column, a 1-year column, and a 90-day and a daily column. And I want you to look at those images and say, what can I get done in my lifetime? What can I get done within these next 5 years? What can I get done within this year, within the 90 days? What can I get done today? And doing this chronologically will help you prioritize things so that you don't leave things that you can get done today for next year, and you don't put something from next year and try to get it done in a matter of a day. So for instance, maybe you want to pay off debt, maybe being debt-free was on there, but maybe buying a house was on there as well. So maybe you have to get debt-free before you pay off the house. So debt-free would be in the 90-day. Maybe paying off the house would be in the 5-year, or maybe paying off debt would be in the 5-year and getting a house would be in the lifetime. So just understanding what goes first. And we can also help you with that. If you want to send us your vision board or send us the list of things you want to get done, we can help you make that a realistic, organized plan. Angie, if you want to just kind of break down how they can reverse engineer their lifestyle and their lifetime goals into 5-year, 90-day, and monthly and daily goals.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Sheyi. So I love to just kind of make things into little bite-sized chunks, but let's start off with our 5-year plan. So you've got these images, you've got your vision board, and start looking at what is it that you want to accomplish, say, in 5 years. I mean, and that's just a rough estimate. It could be a little fluid. So don't think of this as a strict do or die kind of a number, but you got to have a goal in order to have something to strive for. So write down your bigger goals. And as Sheyi has already alluded to, we don't plan to fail. We just fail to plan. So this is the starting of that. So start with writing down your goals. Then we want to break that down into your 1-year plan. So you might think, well, why jump from a 5-year all the way down to a 1-year? Why not start creating like 2, 3, 4 plan? Well, you know what? The 5-year plan is to help you move into that direction. But when you push it into a 1-year plan, that's your execution stage. This is bringing it down into a little bit closer. Okay, well, I can look at this now. So let's look at this quote here. I love this. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. So bringing it into that 5-year, into the 1-year is going to help bring that more into a doable phase. So it's important to set realistic goals. And the process of making your 1-year plan forces you to evaluate whether your goals are achievable in that time frame. When we make plans, we naturally want to achieve many different things. So this is about focusing a little bit. So bringing that overview, that big plan into a little bit more of a focused plan. Okay, how can I make this happen? The biggest mistakes or the biggest things that we see from ambitious people is that they overestimate what they can actually achieve within a year. I can raise my hand to that. Hi, my name is Angie, and I'm an overachiever. So, but you know what? That's the thing, is that that's why we are bringing this to all of you, is because we know from experience. We can say this with utmost certainty because we've been there. Remember that the key to continuous progress is making consistent steps forward. And you know what? You'll be surprised at that point what you can achieve in 5 years. So let's prioritize, right? So begin listening to your goals on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the most significant, and 1 is like not as much of a priority, and it's not time sensitive. So what goals are going to give you the most energy? What goals are you most committed to? What goals offer you the most value? And what goals are fully in your control? So we've gone from 5-year, pushed it down to an executable 1 year. Now it's time to dive deeper. Let's drive a little bit more into a monthly plan. From this point forward, we're starting to break things down into monthly actions. So every month, we're taking that year, that full year, and we're looking at, okay, what can we do to put this into like this current month? It's about execution. And you're going to thank yourself later for sitting down and taking the time to do this. Because it's about putting into action. Without action, it's just simply a dream. What are the steps I need to do to accomplish my goal? So, as you could guess, we're now going to drive this into a further executable stage. What are we doing daily? So we want to take that 5-year, drive it down into your 1 year, drive it down into your monthly. Now, what can we do today? Once you are clear on the steps that you need to take, we're going to pack 3 to 4 actions that you need to focus on every day. First, get the important stuff done. So this is prioritizing, right? So we need to prioritize what is most important. What do we need to get done today so that we can move forward tomorrow? Identify those daily actions, because every single day, once you get to the end of the month, you're going to look at those daily actions and say, "Whoo, wow, did I push through? I pushed forward, and now next month, you are that much further ahead." So place your action plan where you're going to see it. So some people are more visual, some people are more digital, some people like paper, some people like a hybrid form. So myself, I have my planner right beside me. I have my phone. I've kind of moved a little bit away from my phone, but some things I still have in my phone as well. Some people have a great big calendar in front of them so that they can see the yearly plan. That, I would say, is a huge beneficial thing. Get yourself one of those desk planners, those desk calendars, so that you can see, okay. And you know what, again, don't beat yourself up if you don't get one thing done. If you don't get something done, just move it to the next day, move it to the next month. But this is, if you don't see it, it's floating in the air and it's not going to happen. So let's create those SMART goals. A goal needs to be a SMART goal. Now, we don't just mean the SMART as in intelligent. You may need to want to have that as well, but SMART means that it is specific. You can't just say, now, I'm going to bring this a little bit into a personal point here, because what you put into the universe listens. So if you say, you know what, this is the year that I'm going to be successful. Well, what does that mean? What does success mean to you? Okay, so this is the year that I want to be rich. Again, what does that mean for you? Okay, this is the year that I want to make thousands of dollars. Not specific enough. You need to be as specific as possible, because what you put out is what you're going to receive. And if you haven't been specific enough, the universe is going to say, I gave you that.
Can I give a really
You
good
need,
example?
absolutely.
I was working with one of my business partners, and he said, I really need a new computer bag. I really need a new computer bag. I'm going to get a new computer bag. And he reached down to his old computer bag and the strap broke, right? So he was putting out in the universe, he needs a new computer bag, he needs a new computer bag. And then his old one broke because he was putting out in the universe that he wanted a new bag and the universe made him get a new bag. So sometimes when we put out things that we want, we get things that we don't want. And we're like, oh, my car broke down. But maybe you were thinking, I need a new car. I need a new car. I need a new car. So sometimes the universe will do something to you that you think is a setback, but really it's a push forward. So I just wanted to put that out there too.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, that just gave me chills because it's so true. It's what we focus on, what our thoughts we focus on expands. So again, careful what you wish for, but if it's something that you really want, you got to be specific. So specific goals, make sure they're measurable. So how are you going to measure your goals without putting it down on paper? Or measuring, how are you going to know that you can achieve it? So which brings us into the attainable. Make sure that it's something that is achievable. You know, we've alluded and we've said that, you know, reach for the, you know, shoot for the stars so that you can land on the clouds. Well, you know what? Sometimes we have these magical goals and stuff. So let's put a little bit of a realistic point on this as well. You need to make sure that it's attainable within the measures that you have. Make sure it's relevant and put a time frame on it, because we can say we want to hit, say, $100,000, but we haven't said when. When do we want that? If you just say that, it could be the universe is looking, well, yeah, we've got that on your to-do list, but not for like another 5 years. So put it in a time frame. Commit. We need to be committed to our goals. You know what? It's true. We need to have that commitment. That's where that drive comes from. That's where that emotion comes from. We need something pushing us, driving us to achieve that particular thing that it is that we want or that we feel we need. So that's how you stay motivated. And it comes down to your reason why. There's going to be times that a setback or something, life happens. And really, and that's a test. It's testing you. Are you really committed? Is this what you really want? And that's where you go back. Why did I start this to begin with? What is my driver? What is my reason why? And part of that is having an accountability partner. Sheyi had said, you know what, her and I are more than willing to help you along this journey. If it just stays with you, some of us have a tendency to either give up or to lose that motivation is what I'm trying to say. And you know what, if you don't say it to anybody, you just think, well, you know what, I didn't tell anybody, so nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to know. It's like, but why are you doing this to begin with? You want to move yourself forward. So tell people that are going to help keep you accountable. And you know what, sometimes your friends and family want the best for you, but sometimes they are your best motivators, but sometimes not. And again, sometimes that's the time that you need to go outside of your immediate circle, because sometimes those that are closest to you are the most judgmental. Track it. Track your progress. And that's where having it down on paper, having an accountability partner can help you put those benchmarks in place. You can't manage what you don't measure. It's true. So how do you measure it? Well, you set up those little milestones. That's where your daily, monthly, yearly, 5-year plan is. That's the purpose of doing that, is so that you can track it. If you're not meeting your goals, like I said, don't beat yourself up over it. However, it serves as a tracker to say, well, if you didn't reach it, what were you, maybe did you not set a realistic time frame? Maybe you need to reevaluate what you put into plan. So how can you become accountable? Well, let's just take a look at this. Now, you can do it on your own. It's possible for people that have a really strong discipline. And that's fantastic. It's great when you have that drive and you're able to do it on your own. Now, that's not to say that having, say, a coach or an accountability partner still isn't a good idea, because it's just, when you do it on your own, sometimes it can be a lonely road. It can be a lonely road. And having somebody there, not only as an accountability partner, but a cheerleader as well, somebody to push you even further. So somebody that's celebrating with you. And it doesn't need to be a great big party. It's just having somebody there to share in your successes, but also share in your challenges. Maybe there's something that accountability partner has experienced that they can share with you. And you know what, it could be Sheyi or I. It could be somebody else that you already have in place on your contact list. Either way, whether you choose to do it on your own or have an accountability partner, it's just a great way to measure your successes, measure your progress, so that you're accountable to yourself. And eventually people are going to start noticing. They're going to say, you know what, there's something different about Sheyi. There's something different about Susie. There's something, I don't know what she's doing, but there's got to be something there. So people will notice. And again, we can revise this. There's always evaluating that can be done. Once you get to the end of your day, end of month, end of year, evaluate. Did you set forth a realistic, measurable goal for yourself? Maybe you didn't set the bar high enough. Maybe you can achieve more than what you first anticipated. Time to push harder. So let's summarize this a little bit. Take your vision board, organize those images, words, whatever you have on there. Put them into your 5-year, your 1-year, your monthly, and your daily plan. Prioritize whatever is in those columns or pages or whatever you have. Maybe you have a separate vision board for each. Awesome. I'd love to see that as a mural on your wall. But move what maybe the prioritizing of those. Put them in order of what's most important, and then go down in prioritization, as well as time sensitivity. Some things are going to be requiring a certain time frame. Create your SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Then commit. Be committed to your why, because that's your emotion, that's your driver. And then track your progress. Stay accountable. Get yourself an accountability partner. Again, if you want to try it on your own first, awesome, but make sure that you're disciplined enough to stick with it. Try it, and then if you figured, you know what, this is just not working for me, go into getting an accountability partner. And most importantly, is celebrate those milestones, each and every step. Because guess what? Once you get to the end of, say, 5 days, 10 days, a month, a year, you're going to look back and say, wow, what would have happened if I didn't put those plans into action? Where would I be? I'd be right back there. So you are already that much further ahead. So we've already come, a few weeks in. We're starting to set those goals. Sheyi, do you want to maybe pop in here and give us maybe a little preview of what's coming next week? Because we're getting into some to-do areas.
Yes. So I know some of you might be like, oh, this is refreshers. I need more. Some of you might be like, oh my goodness, like I got to get some of this stuff done. So we wanted to come to the very beginning, and we wanted to meet everybody where they're at. So maybe you haven't joined yet. Maybe you're waiting for the meat and potatoes. Maybe you start at the beginning and you're getting caught up. Maybe this has still been fast paced for you, and that's okay as well. Maybe you've just been enjoying the journey and plugging away and doing things each week. But now that you've developed your plan, your life plan, and you know what direction you're going, now we're going to give you the tools and the skill set to get you there. So next week, we're going to be looking at our budget. So now we're going to take that pile of papers that we collected at week 2. We're going to start going through them and filling out our budget sheet. So if you didn't already, please message Angie or message it in the comments and just raise your hand and say, hey, I would like a budget sheet, and go through all of those documents, write out your budget, and that's going to help you figure out, where is all my money going and what do I have left over to put towards my dreams. Now, if you're looking at your budget and being like, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, I don't have money to fund my dreams, which is a lot of the problem that most people have. Most people look at their budget and like, it's all allocated. So now what, right? So in week 6, we're also going to be working on trimming our budget. Maybe there's some things that we don't necessarily need to spend our money on. Maybe that $5 coffee needs to be made at home, so we can buy one thing of a $5 coffee and make it throughout the whole month, right? Maybe we need to carpool instead of taking cabs. Maybe we can pay somebody $10 to just pick us up on the way instead of cabbing every single time. There's a lot of different things that we can come up with so that our budget shrinks, which gives us a little bit of extra income that we can put towards achieving our goals. But if you look further down, we're also going to look at ways to earn additional income. So then that way, maybe we've trimmed our budget as much as we can. Maybe we're literally trimmed all the way down and we still don't have enough. So we are going to look at ways to add income as well. Maybe one of your goals was to pay off debt. And we are going to be going over that in week 7. I have a bunch of strategies you guys can try to start chipping away at that debt that you guys have. And then once we do have extra income sitting to the side, that's when we create savings. And that savings, I don't want you to think of it as something you never touch. I want you to think of it as a plan to save until you have enough for a milestone. So maybe a milestone is a trip. So you need $3,000, which is why it's important to put a price on your dream so you know how much you're saving for. So once you hit that milestone, you can do that experience or buy that thing so that you can feel like you've realistically moved a step forward and not just mentally. I also want to mention that statement I made about my partner, where he broke his bag the moment he said he wanted a new bag, you might realize that as you go through this journey, that life is testing you and challenging you and making sure that you are actually obtaining what you want. But it's also important to why you want to be grateful for the things you have. So if he maybe said, oh, I'm so happy I have this bag, but I also want to try and work towards getting a new one, maybe that bag wouldn't have broke. So just make sure that you stay positive throughout this process and appreciate what you have while working really hard to achieve more. So I'm super excited while we go through this next couple journeys of action steps of what you can take to achieve that daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, lifetime plan that you had. And please, 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 please let us know that you're doing them. As much as we just like to put this out there, regardless of how many people are listening to it, we would love to know who's listening, who's implementing these things in their life. You don't have to be super specific with us if you don't want to, but even just email us and say, hey, I started my life plan. That would mean the world to us to know that you took that daily step or that decision to start creating your life plan. Maybe it's just, hey, I took an action step today. You don't have to tell us what it is if you don't want to, but just tell us that you took that action step just so we can congratulate you. Maybe you don't have anyone congratulating you, but you deserve to be congratulated. Okay. So let us know. Like, subscribe, comment, share if you think someone else needs to hear this. Share this with your accountability partner. Maybe we're not your accountability partner, and that's okay, but share this video with your accountability partner so that they can do it too, so that you both can have lifetime plans and you can share those goals with each other. Okay, subscribe so you get notified when the rest of these videos get uploaded, so you can start implementing these aspects into your life and maybe start checking off some of your goals for the day, month, year, or lifetime. We're excited for you to be on this journey. We're excited for you to start narrowing down your life plan to your daily goals. And we look forward to seeing you next week. I always like to give tribute to the people that have come before me that provided this information so that I could create this presentation for you guys. So this is the websites that I got the information from. If you ever want to go directly back to the resource, these are the people that I borrowed the information from so that I could present it to you. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for taking your time, because time is valuable, to be here and taking these little action steps every single day. So I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.